Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.
Welcome to Pub Sports Radio, NCAA Net Profit. It is Wednesday, Max. You know why I always know it's Wednesday? It's trash day, and I need to take out the trash after last night. Some of the bullshit that played. A few of these plays I played smaller, like Texas Tech. We'll get, they cover, they win, the game goes under. But let's go through my plays just real quick. How are you doing today? As we're good. I know how you were a minute ago, but how are you feeling real quick?
Yeah, no, I think that from a financial perspective, I'm doing well. I definitely had way more money today than I did yesterday, so that's always a good thing. But college basketball does get a little aggravating at times with some of these inconsistent performances, with some of these coaching styles, and some of these end-of-game tactics. So it does get a little frustrating, and Big Tuesday with a very small added card is a perfect example of why I have stress on a day like that. I did enjoy watching all that ASUN basketball, watching Liberty fuck with their eyes open, watching Stetson and Jacksonville battle like they are goddamn Roman freaking soldiers. It was an entertaining added slate, and I'm hoping that the added slate today is just as entertaining because let's face it, there's some pretty heavy hitters, some blue bloods playing on the freaking main board.
Yeah, there is. Definitely a good card. Let me go through mine yesterday. 1-3, bad day for me. Like I said, tough one for me. We've talked about this. Maybe this could be splits for me. Max going later. I'm going to see. Pitt was 35-34. Just couldn't make a basket against a Syracuse team that's not very good defensively. That was pretty rough. I thought they could have covered that. And they would have first half, just down by one. These college games, tale of two halves sometimes. It's just shitty. Penn State got the job done. That was a good win. But A&M won. I had a small amount on that. But, man, back to a dead under. After all the overs I was preaching, man, holy shit. Old Miss couldn't even get past 60. And A&M, who's been in the 80s, it seems like the last 6 or 7 games. But they win big, covered there. They lost. And the last one, South Carolina, all they had to do, I know Tennessee at home and their defense, they just need to get in the 50s. They just need to score 53 last night, and they couldn't do that, Max. So that hurt. And some of these other big ones, Iowa State, we talked about, Texas Tech. We thought were big numbers that, I was a little more kind of iffy on, or I bet a little on. So just one of those days.
I'll tell you this, Connor. I got absolutely taken out to the cleaners on the Baylor game. To be brutally honest, I lost on their team total. I lost on the full game and first half spread, and I lost on the full game over. So I was Gus's favorite client on that game last night. But in the end, guys, I fucked him in the mouth. I'm taking his girlfriend out to the keg for a steak with the $750 that the St. Bonaventure Bonnies made for me off of that beautiful 9-point deficit comeback. So, goddamn Bonnies.
They came back, Max, and it's perfect to maybe long layoff, to stay off them. Don't bet them pregame, to wait to bet them live like you did. So let's just run
Connor,
through. Go ahead.
Sorry, yeah. I did bet them live. I did bet them pregame because I tailed our guy, Mr. Tone, a.k.a. Anthony Witherspoon, a.k.a. the freaking levels play of the day master. Bro, what a beautiful play that was. I was so happy that it cashed. I was so happy that I tailed him on it. And God bless those Bonnies, because if they break my heart in March again, I don't know if you'll see me next year. I don't know.
True. All right, Max, let's run through some scores. Texas Tech, big win over Baylor. Auburn got it done over Alabama. You mentioned it. Kansas with a close one to Iowa State, 62-61. Texas that was a cover. That was a team. Not enough points for me. Didn't want to mess with. Texas, good defense. Tennessee, I just mentioned it, the big win. Illinois won 10 by 10, but didn't cover there. Kentucky did get it done. I thought that was borderline, whether they cover that. They did. They won by 12. In that one, I mentioned the Penn State. That was one of the better wins on the day there, 66-49. Dayton
Very
just
good
got it
under
done.
game. Very good under
Yeah,
game.
good, very good under game. We talked about
Live
Rutgers
also.
trouble.
Mhm.
Yeah, troubles on the road shooting. I showed there. Dayton won. Just got the cover. Good game for St. Louis. Davidson won by 10. It's UMass 77-67. Talk about St.
That was
Bonnie's.
not a good game, Connor. Let's stop right there. That was not a good game. They did not hit the over. They can both go fucking
didn't.
egg. They can both go fucking egg. God damn it. How do you have a 62-61 first half after you were literally on pace for 75 points? Well, that's college basketball for you. It is crazy.
It is. Marquette beat DePaul 87-76. VCU pounded George Washington. Stephen F. Austin with 11-point win last night. Buffalo won 78-64. Florida State won, but what a game by Miami. They saved me. I had Miami last night. I rode the wave we talked about. So, yeah.
What an entertaining game. Charlie Moore with ice in his goddamn veins. They were all checking his arm, be like, shit, what you got in there to hit that shot? Oh, my God. For Miami to play in that game and to see Jalen Warley and Matthew Cleveland put up and play the way that they did, Florida State is someone, and Miami as well. Those are teams that are definitely going to not be pushovers the rest of the ACC season. So love that game last night from an entertainment perspective.
Definitely. This was one I liked. It just wasn't crazy about it. West Virginia. I mean, I remember I said if they score, they get to 70. They cover that game. They did.
Yeah, I got fucked on that game. I had the first half over 62. It was not good. It was
so, and UNLV late played well, over New Mexico. Huge win for the Rebels. Fresno State, too, at a 20-point win over San Jose State. I saw some people that like them with the plus 14.
I was able to actually lay off the game, Connor. Like, I don't bet every game. There are games that I do not bet at all. UNLV and New Mexico were one of them. Pat myself on the goddamn back. I got self-control.
You do. Let's get to your line movement, side and total. I want to hear them for today. Let's get right into today.
All right. There's a ton of line movements, so I'm going to be brief on it. I'm just going to tell you what they are. We've seen the Villanova spread go from a 1.5-point favorite Villanova to now a 1.5-point underdog in Villanova. We've seen East Carolina's total go from 139 up as high as 143.5 or 144, is now coming down at certain spots. We've seen East Tennessee State and Furman's total go from 144.5 up as high as 147, but there is a lot of, I would say, question marks with that game. So we're seeing a lot of variation along, I would say, most of the global books, that's for sure. I think that another game that we've seen a good move in is Michigan State and Minnesota going from 13 to 11.5. That's significant if you're looking to back Minnesota, And when we look at a game such as Duquesne and Fordham, we've seen Fordham open as a 1.5-point favorite. That line is now a 2-point favorite for Duquesne, and a lot of respected bettors in the market are all over Fordham. So definitely an interesting game and one that I would like to talk about. A total that's moved over 3 points would be Georgia, Mississippi State from 146 down to 142.5 or 143. And that's very interesting considering that both these teams have been going over their totals by significant margins over the last 5 games. Another spread that has moved in favor of the underdog is the Samford-Wofford game. Samford going from a very sexy plus 10 to now a not so sexy, at least in the light, minus plus 8. So you have to make your own decision on that one there. We've seen Duke open. I thought Duke opened up as a 3-point favorite, not a 4.5-point favorite. And if that was the case and my memory isn't betraying me, then being a 6-point favorite now without Coach K on the sidelines is definitely something that you have to take into consideration. Is associate head coach John Shire going to run this offense and let them run a little more? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. When it comes to another total in the ACC, Clemson and Notre Dame went from 141 to 137.5 or 138. And another dog that came off that key number of 10 is Evansville versus Bradley. They're now an 8 or 7.5 point underdog right now. Connor, there's still a bunch more line moves. How much more do you want me to
whatever you good. If you want to touch on a couple more, do you think that are important? If not, we can get to the game. Did you mention the drop a little bit, Minnesota, Michigan?
Yes.
That totals dropped a little bit. Perfect.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
That Minnesota Michigan game went from 140.5 to 137.5 and now is coming back up.
Yeah,
so you are getting U-shaped line movement, which makes it a game that you have to trust your number and not what the market's doing. Definitely. When it comes to a couple more totals, Connor, I'll just say this. St. John's and UConn went from a 150 opener to 153 or 153.5 at its highest right now. And TCU and Kansas State, surprisingly, have gone from 133 to 137, with Kansas State possibly being back at full force tonight. So that's an interesting spot. The only other total that really caught my eye was the NC State Louisville game. Don't understand why this line went up as high as it did, but it went up from 145 as high as 150 and now is settled down at 149 or 149.5. I think that all the other moves are pretty expected, with the exception of Dixie State and Cal Baptist. 149 up until 153 and is rising as we speak. And then Utah Valley from 140 to 142.5 to 143. So we have two games on the move right now that start late.
Excellent work. Always love to hear the line movement from last night till right now, till the show, till almost to some of these games tip off that our show starts. But first, before we get to your games, man, let's give a shout out to the best chat in the goddamn game.
Goddamn best chat in the game. Fuck yeah.
Get it. Post Source Radio, baby. Tony Cobb, Sean Murphy, Sam Comer, Rob, Rara, what's up, Murray? Tease, our guy, Spenny Penny Bombs in the chat, my guy, what are you doing? Daryl Turner, the Puzzler, aka Canascat, in the house. Arthur Mead Jr., our guy in here, Razor Sharp, man in here, MMA Locker Room, Bill McDonald, Poker Addicted, Dan Kelly, all the regulars. We appreciate you guys being here. Thanks so much. Rem Most, Crystal Warren, all the regulars. North Ender.
Crystal's sharp.
Shout out to Crystal. Hector, JP Easy, Ronnie Barton, Rob, Preston Burke. What's up, my guy, Dan T? Let's get it, Max. All right, let's get right to your games. You want to type out? Go ahead.
Connor, the chat is full of people that fuck with their eyes open. It is clear as goddamn day to see that. Let's go. I like it.
Let's go, baby.
And just to let you know, we do have a basketball game going on right now that for all you degenerates like myself, if you can find someone that will take some action on it, Arlington Baptist College is getting their ass smoked right now by McNeese State. They're down 28-10 halfway through the first half. So
what a thriller.
Find someone to take some action. That's a play.
I love it. It's a really McNeese State game. All right, let's get to your games here, Max. Let's get to your first one. High Point favored by 3 against USC Upstate, total 134. What do you got here?
Yeah, listen, I'm rolling with High Point in this spot. I think that with High Point, Jaden House and Zach Austin make the difference for this team. They needed to produce and provide some sort of scoring assistance to this awesome player in John Michael Wright. John Michael Wright has done it for now 3 seasons and has put this team on his back. Well, now it's time for someone else to step up and provide some freaking assistance. And that's what this group has been able to do. I think that when we see games lined in this number range, it definitely points me towards the over. When we see High Point in victories, it is important to note that we have seen them play some up-tempo games like against Elon. We've seen them play some low-tempo ones against FAU. I think that they are better suited in this game to push the tempo, for South Carolina State to go bucket for bucket with you. And with the way that their games have been going over in the last 4 specifically, we're talking about 4 games that have gone over and we're talking about 10 points over the closing line. So tons of selling point value if you want to even sell back up to the 137.5 or 138 that this game opened at. I think that this is an over spot. I think that this is a High Point spot. And with High Point, what they need and what is key for them in this game is getting off to a good start. That is what's going to make or break this game. I think if they're losing at halftime, they probably don't mount the comeback. But when I look at my numbers, when I look at my power rankings, this number is too small. High Point's going on the road. They're going into Upstate's building and winning tonight. So that's the way I'm rolling on that game, Connor.
I like it. Great breakdown. Let's get to your next one. Stony Brook versus Vermont. Vermont laying the big number here, 11. Total right around 142.5, depending on where you're looking at. What do you like here?
In a lot of years, in a lot of past years, in Anthony Lamb times, Steph Smith times, I would have backed Vermont as a favorite of this number at home. But I just simply can't do that these days. I think that Stony Brook is just so much more improved with Division I Power 5 transfers. I think that when you bring in a guy like Anthony Roberts to go along with Takai Green, you got 2 Bulldog rebounding, scoring guards. And the piece that connected it all was when Stony Brook went and got Jaleel Jenkins from FDU. This is the game breaker. This is the X factor in the game. If he can get off, if he can use his quickness to penetrate the rim and force these guards of Vermont to guard them hard on the 3-point line, then I just don't see it being that big of a margin of victory for Vermont. So I'm rolling with Stony Brook in the points. With the total, it is definitely perplexing that it went up. I thought that it would have been down at 136.5 or 137 by now. So I'm a little more reserved on what I'm going to do on the total. But as far as the spread, it's Stony Brook or pass for me.
I agree with you. Talk about Stony Brook. On the road, they haven't been that bad. I mean, when they go against, at Kansas, obviously they got blown out, or at Florida. But, they went to Yale and won, Fairfield, lost tight. They had those 3 good wins, the Hofstra, remember, Max, and Bryant, those couple good wins. I mean, I'm with you. If they hit shots, they're in this. And that's some of the dogs I like today. We'll get to later. Some of these, I'm looking to good 3-point shooting teams and teams that make free throws. If I'm trying to get double digits with some of these dogs, look for that, because that can always help you out quickly to get a backdoor cover. All right, let's get to your third one. UMBC versus NJIT. We're favored by 1.5 here. Total's 139. Interesting game here. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, listen, I think that this is an interesting game because there are some personal fan stuff for me. I'm a big fan of Dylan O'Hearn from Windsor, Ontario. I'm a big fan of 5'2" Darnell Rogers because he's showing that short people all over the world, if they're quick enough and have good enough court vision, can play collegiate basketball. I'm not one of them. I'm not ever going to be too old, obviously. But I think that him being in the lineup definitely helps UMBC. But UMBC, with him in the lineup or without, has struggled mightily on the road. And I think that they are going to have the same kind of troubles tonight. NGIT has done a great job of developing James Lee, of Miles Coleman taking that next step and providing that wing scoring that was definitely being looked around and like who was going to step up. Well, now you got a trio of capable guys. You got an experienced point guard in Antoine Butler. If he can keep his cool and not turn the ball over in the second half, that would be absolutely fantastic. I just think that the Highlanders are the spot here at the short number. The one area of concern that you're always going to have with the Highlanders is the fact that there is some problems free throw shooting. But when you have Matt Fall and Suleiman Diakate in the middle and playing in your front court, you're going to get a lot of second chance opportunities and a lot of extended possessions. Hopefully, NGIT can balance that out and chase UMBC off the 3-point line because we know that they are dangerous from there. You got to pick your poison with UMBC. I think that the Highlanders are the better spot tonight. Rogers practiced today, so that gives me the that makes me assume that he's going to play. If he doesn't and he's not in the lineup, it helps NGIT that much more. But it's Highlanders or pass for me in this spot. I'll take UMBC at home. I won't take them on the road.
I agree. Totally agree. I don't trust them enough on the road. And if I did, I need more, points than this. Yeah. Give me 4.5 or something. I'm not, just a bucket. No way. At least for me. Let's get your fourth one here, Max. Delaware State, Norfolk State. Land big number here. 20.5. There's 21s now. Total right around 140. 1.5. What's your look here?
Yeah, unfortunately, all the numbers that I bet in this game are long gone. I had Delaware State, I had Norfolk State minus 18, the over 136.5, and the first half over 65.5. All are long gone. I do still think that Norfolk does punish Delaware State in this game. This is conference basketball. We do know that Norfolk is not going to freaking take them lightly. This is a team that hits their free throws. They do a good job of penetrating the rim. And with Joe Bryant running this offense, you're definitely going to get some very potent three-point shooting outbursts. And that's what you're going to need against Delaware State. If you give them the hope that they can stay in this game, then you have problems. What isn't going to play against Norfolk and the reason why I'm not taking them first half is because let's not beat around the bush. They haven't played in freaking 24 days or 23 days. I think that that's actually going to play against Delaware State, and they're going to pour on the offense that much more. As long as Chris Bankston and Joe Bryant can hit shots early, I have a lot of confidence in the sub pieces on this team. And as long as they're not playing top tier competition, I expect them to do the ass whooping and not be on the other end of it. So even at 21, maybe a half unit play. But for me, it was instantly when I saw this number on opener, it was over, and take the favorite.
Yeah, total agreement. If you mess around with this game, Delaware State is bad. I mean, we're talking maybe the worst team, you think? I mean, the country?
I would say the worst team because they haven't.
Ooh, who's worse?
I would say that
I know it's hard. They're pretty. Yeah. I mean, there's a few more.
There's a lot of bad teams. There's a lot of bad teams.
But they're right there.
They're in the 330s to 350s, 100%.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know who they're suiting up even to play. I mean,
I'm just so used to being able to say that Mississippi Valley State or Chicago State are the worst teams in college basketball. I would really say that IUPUI is like the worst team in college basketball. They're the ones that I just hate the most.
No doubt. All righty, Max, let's get to your last one here. UMass Lowell versus Albany. Pretty good one here. Total 133.5. They're favored by 2.5 is UMass Lowell. What's your look in this one?
Yeah, I think that with UMass Lowell, it's an interesting group. I wish they had Conor Withers back in the lineup, but they've been able to really form a nice nucleus with Khalil Thomas, Max Brooks, and Everett Hammond that have done some decent scoring. I think that UMass Lowell definitely can win this game. I think that this is a number that definitely suits them. Albany's definitely a bit of a conundrum, The one thing that UMass Lowell is going to have to bring on the road, aside from their offensive game, which is definitely not from the 3-point line, it's inside the arc and at the free throw line, is their field goal defense. They got to be able to condense and really compact the paint, take away those driving lanes, and force Albany to beat them with jump shots, which I'm just not convinced they can do consistently. Even with Albany being at home, it doesn't really say, oh, this is just huge value with them being the home team and being at this number. I think that when you look at Albany, they don't shoot the 3 well, they don't shoot the 2 well. They just don't have the offense that you really need to beat this type of tempo team that you're going to go up against tonight. UMass Lowell, don't get it twisted. They played a lot of under games, but it's about the number that they played an under game. When you play unders at 137.5 or 138, it's much different than being in the low 130s. I think that this is a UMass win, and I think that they push this game over as well.
I do too. If I, look at it, I'd take UMass as well. That short favorite in that game. All right, Max, those were yours. Anything else real quick you want to touch on at all?
Yeah, just that it pains me to say that I'm going to be betting on St. John's tonight, but I just can't bet on my Yukon Huskies. Hopefully I lose money and they win and cover, and then I just know not to bet on them pregame ever again. I've already tried to learn that with St. Bonaventure spreads. I just need to learn that with Yukon spreads now. So
I agree with you.
That doesn't eat Cheerios.
I had UConn on Saturday, the 5. I thought there was too many points. Obviously, another close game. They lost by 3, Max. This is a lot.
They lost because Tyrese Martin had an actual brain freeze on the court, turned the ball over, and cost us the game. It made me think that he had a bet on Seton Hall. Could have had a bet on Seton Hall. Who knows? It's legal.
You never know.
It's legal.
Hey, facts. I have a little bit of nightmares of the Kansas game with St. John's, but I'm with you. It's St. John's or pass, taking those points. I didn't put it on, didn't quite make full flow, but UConn's the better team. But St. John's, you can't leave a team like that can score, with I think 11.5. I think they can cover that number. Sure, we'll touch on it one more time before we get out of here. All right, let's roll through mine real quick, Max. We'll get through our sponsors, and we'll get right to the questions. I'm sure everyone's itching to get to the rest of these games. Let's get to my first one, the big one here, a bigger one. Duke versus Wake. Duke's laying 6 here. I'm on Wake. I'm on the dog. I'm on Forbes here and them at home. We'll see how good they are, Max. They've had some solid wins. The Florida State game. We don't know how. I didn't think Florida State's that good. They're playing a little bit better. They beat Syracuse, Virginia Tech. This will be a big one. I think 6 was too much. Obviously, it opened, 4, moved to 6. Coach K is not going to be there. How packed? It's about, an hour away, right around there, Salem, where Wake Forest is. They should be up for this one. When Duke comes in there, that building should be good, because I know some of those, I don't know if they're back in school yet, or if not, but it should be packed. When Duke comes into your building, you should be pumped and ready to play. We'll see here with Wake. Duke beat them last year both times and covered. But I'm going to take the 6 with Wake Forest tonight. I think they have enough offense to hang here with Duke. The total's high. I might get there. I'm not going to roll with the over. But give me the 6 here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that taking the home dog at this number is definitely a sexy look. The sexier part of the game for Wake Forest is the fact that Davion Williamson will be back in the lineup tonight, and adding him to your 1-2 tandem that exists already of Alondas Williams and Jake LaRavia, then throw in the fact that you have good size with Dallas Walton and Katim Sai off the bench if you need. You got some freaking I guess you'd call them freaking. What do you call the freaking things that they put on the bowling alley to stop your ball from going into
the bumpers?
Yes. You got a bumper.
The side bumper.
Yeah, side bumper. That's what you got in Wake Forest. So they're going to need it against tonight. Mark Williams and Banchero and AJ Griffin for sure.
Yeah, I just think it's too many here. Duke's off the loss. They're going to be pissed. And do they play better with Coach K? Doesn't matter even. At this, we'll see.
Well, it's all about what style they're going to play, how fast they're going to play. Faster they play, the better it's going to be for actually both sides. They're not better suited to play the slow style.
True. Let's get to my next one. This was kind of lean for me, Max. I did talk to you. I noticed that Tulane. This is Tulane, Wichita State. Wichita State's favored by 9, 8.5. Total's 138. Initially, I think the total was a little high. I know Wichita's gone over in the last few, and Tulane can get into some 80-point games. Their defense can be leaky at times, but when they play some slower-paced teams, they stay in the 60s. So this one, I kind of wanted to talk with you. My initial is the points with Tulane. I've liked it all year, and I leaned under. I just thought at 138 it was a little too high. I think you think different, but what do you think here?
Yeah, I think differently on the total. I think that now with the news of no Dexter Dennis or Morris Udeze, it does put a lot more pressure on the guys like Ricky Council to step up and support Tyson ATN. I just think at the end of the day, when I look at how Wichita's been playing and when I watch their games, they've been really high scoring, and I'm talking 40-point outputs in the first half. We've seen 4 of their last 5 games go over by extreme margins, so selling points on their totals on the overs definitely were profitable for you if you did so. And I just want to see them revert back to that slow style that we were seeing them play early on in the season before I start jumping on unders again, especially against a Tulane team that has a healthy Jalen Cook.
Yeah, very true. Those are just strong leans for me. Let's get to my next one. These are not Maryland at Northwestern. Northwestern's favored by 5.5. Totals 140 here, 140.5. Maryland's lost a few in a row. It's a really close game, Max, and I think it happens again. And I like how Northwestern's played at spots. They're always better at home. But it's 5.5 here. I got to take the points with Maryland. And it just got over Wisconsin. The numbers were close. But with Manning, we've seen they're shooting a little bit more. I've noticed they shot a few more threes. Northwestern is an over team for me. Not always, but they get over this total. They got over the Sunday game with Ohio State. I was on that over. It was right around this number as well. So this one's kind of a double split bet with me. Not only I'm going to take the points with Maryland, I think this gets over 140 as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that with Eric Ayala and Fats Russell being able to have more freedom to shoot threes and create offense for themselves, it is going to lead to more points with Maryland's games. And we've seen that since Danny Manning's taken over. I don't know how many times I've said that, but with Maryland, they have proven over and over again that they can go on the road and they can compete. I think that Julian Reese and Wahab are going to play the key critical role against the front court of Northwestern. This is where you got to get physical, and this is where you got to also be able to be sleek and score consistently. I think that with Maryland and this new 3-point attack, Hakeem Hart and Dante Scott can fly under the radar. I'm using Maryland in a parlay, an alt spread parlay that I got from one of my fellow Kremlins, aka Trade A, aka I create college athletes out of my dick. So I really like your Maryland play. That's the point of the rant.
Excellent. I love it. Shout out to Matty, guys. I like that he's on it. Let's get to my last one here, Max. East Carolina versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati's laying 10.5. Totals 144.5. I'm taking the points with East Carolina. Cincinnati's looked really better a lot lately, a little bit, and they could win here if they shoot well. But this is a team that goes into spells, did not shoot the ball well. I was looking at teams, some double-digit dogs. I want better ones like I always talk about that shoot free throws, like I mentioned earlier, three-pointers and free throws. East Carolina can do that. I don't know how many games they're going to win in conference here, but I think they can hang around. Like I said, they almost shoot 37% from three, 75% from the foul line. If what is Newton, the guard for them, Max?
Yeah, Johnny Newman.
Johnny Newman, yeah. He scores, 18 a game. He's got to be big. There's a few other guys transfer. Jackson. If they score enough, that's why I think they can stay in this. Because it's Cincinnati. They've had big wins. I just think, obviously, they melted one against Memphis the other day. That was tough. They were up 80-79 and lost 87-80. 8 straight points from Memphis. Just horrible plays. So I don't know. I just think it's too many here. And also, if Cincy plays their D, this could stay under. East Carolina, obviously, like I said, can score it. What do you think about the total here?
Yeah, I think that this may be a candidate for a first half under, but the number moved from 65.5 on opener to I think 68.5 or 69. And that's the only reason why I'm saying that. If we were at the opening number at 65.5, I would be all over the first half over on this game for the show. I think that with Tristan Newton, Brandon Suggs, and JJ Miles, all three of these guys are capable and 35+% 3-point shooters. And Tristan Newton is a guy that has to have the outlier MVP type game. If he gives you 30, they're going to fucking cover the spread for you. Straight goods.
I totally agree with you. So that's why I mentioned him. He's got to be big for me in this one. Alrighty, that's it for my games. Let's get a word from our sponsor. We'll be right back, and then let's get to the rest of the games, Max. I'm pumped. Let's go. Let's get it. Boom, baby, boom. If you're in the San Antonio area, like I'll be in March, the rest of us go to Southtown 101, go booze it, sing some karaoke, get some food. Best bar in town, hands down. Go to mybookie.ag at promo code PubSports. Don't use your debit or credit. Use the Bitcoin. Flip it over real quick. Transfer it over. Like Max said, the guys do at the strip club. He knows all the time. You do that real quick. And MyBookie, put 1,000, they give you 1,000 back. And go to manscaped.com. No one wants the hair down there. Keep it trimmed. Lawnmower 4.0, best in the business. Hit PubSport, promo code PubSports Radio. Also, Pub Rub, put it on your meat, rub it on your chicken, all that good shit. Get the Pub Rub, PubSportsRadio.com, and pick up some of our swag, our shirts. Straight fire there. The black one is my favorite there with our logo, with the beer, with the head that's set over it. Can't beat that shirt. All right, Max, let's load up the questions. Let's get to them, guys. We got 15 minutes. Let's get to most of these games, and especially maybe these bigger ones that we might not have got to. But let's get to JPZ. Or no, sorry. JPZ said it, though, but Arthur just mentioned it. Santa Clara, only lane 6 to Pacific. Talk me off. JPZ wants to know.
Yeah, listen, Conor, when it comes to Santa Clara and Pacific, Santa Clara is finally healthy relatively. PJ Pipes may not play tonight, but when you still have that core of Keyshawn Justice, Joseph Rankich, and most importantly now, Jalen Williams, you do have enough offense to go on the road. They have smacked around their opponents, but let's be brutally honest, Pacific has been very stingy, very dangerous as a home dog. And with Jeremiah Bailey, Alfonso Anderson, and Luke Advil. Okay, we'll just call him Luke Addy. We'll just call him Luke Addy.
Luke.
Can't get the words out of my mouth today. It's really frustrating. But I think Pacific's dangerous at home. I think that there's a little too much love for Santa Clara in my eyes. While I do think Santa Clara wins the game and they're a good parlay piece, I'm not really sure I want to be laying those types of points full game. I do think that Santa Clara's best value, if you want to bet them on the spread, is first half. See how this game shakes out, and winning a first half by 3 or 4 points with this offense should not be that difficult as long as they're matching up well. Pacific isn't having, a wolf blood injection for the whole team and playing out of their mind.
Let's get to this one, Max. Memphis over UCF. Memphis favored by 1.5 most places. Total 150.5. What's your look here?
Well, I'll say this right now. If we get to 200 live viewers, I will give you a cupcake play of the day on this game. So I'm going to just move it on along.
Here's Andrew. Real quick, you just wrote it in the chat. Well, Max in the chat as we speak. Longwood versus Radford. I like Longwood too. This Radford team is garbage. There's no way I would bet Radford. Chattanooga laying 13 against Western Carolina. What do you think here, Max?
Listen, I think that with this Longwood team, Longwood has definitely played a lot better in the confines of their home court. I think that with this team transitioning from Juan Munoz to Isaiah Wilkins in his 46% three-point shooting, that's what's going to be important for them tonight. He's going to have to take this team, put them on his back, because Deshaun Wade and Justin Hill, while they've been in the program and been in the system for a couple years now, it just really isn't translating to the type of scoring Longwood and the tempo that they want to play at. I think with Radford, if they don't have Brian Hart, that definitely hurts. That definitely hurts them. But Rashawn Williams being back in the lineup, that gives them a significant boost scoring wise. And for me, I think that this game finds its way under the number. And I think that Radford as a home dog, and call me fucking crazy, has a little bit of value to me. So
man, Radford, all right.
Definitely going against the waves there. That's for sure.
Shout out to our guy JP's with the $5 dono. We appreciate my guy for the support. The donos always, like Max said, just hit the like, get the subscribe, be in here, join us every day. College basketball is in high gear. Just do that. That helps us out so much for the channel. We appreciate it. Shout out to my guy JPZ.
I will just say this. Shout out to freaking JPZ. I see you. You're here every day, rocking out with your out. I fucking love it. Keep on fucking coming through, and we'll try and keep on giving you freaking the good ones, and pass the other ones to the other guys. And I'll say this, with trends, a trend is always going to look good when you look it up. But what do we see with trends over the course of a long run? It does even out. So I could be wrong. Listen, I lose a lot of bets, Connor. I bet a lot of volume. I lose at least 40% of those. So I could be wrong on this one. I hope I'm not, but we'll see tomorrow.
Trends. They could be trendy. You never know.
Yeah. Dravon Magnum, 40% from three. He's the X factor tonight for Radford. They got a lot of players.
I like it. I'm not going to bet that game, but shout out to Radford. And to my guy, Matty Ice. He likes Radford, plus 2.5. All right, let's get Virginia Tech, Max. Let's roll through here. Let's kind of get through as quick as we can. Virginia Tech, real quick.
Yeah, shout out to Crystal Warren. Crystal, I think that the number was suspect also. I was saying earlier that the team who wins this game is going to lose the next game, and that's the way that I was going to approach it. But if you were to give me a free bet right now, I would ride with you with Virginia.
Excellent. Let's get to the big ones right next. Nova at Xavier. Xavier's laying now 1.5 basically everywhere. Total's gone down to 137.5. Villanova has not been the same team on the road, Max. They've already beat them. What do you think of this one? I mean, I lean Xavier, but what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely am already on Xavier. That's what I'm on. I think that Xavier now with a healthy Zach Fremantle, it's just a matter of time before he asserts himself within this offense. But in the meantime, Nate Johnson and Colby Jones have done a fine job. This is a game that they get up for, and I think that they are eating Villanova's cupcakes.
I think so too. Villanova could always they're so good. They could get hot from three and win this game, but this line's gone through 0. I like Xavier as well here at home.
That is dangerous. If you haven't heard anyone on Villanova, JPZ, that's dangerous.
Yes. Hey, it is what it is, though. I've heard this one. LSU, Florida. Florida now 3. We saw this yesterday with Bama, and I said it though. Bama, this is their spot, yada yada. But Auburn's the better basketball team. Period, Max. And LSU is in Florida. That's why. And I don't like that this has moved to 3. I lean under the total here at 138. What do you think in this big one here?
Yeah, I'm on first half over in this game. I think that they're going to get off to a good scoring start. We see 67 to 69 points. I think that Brandon Murray is the difference maker for LSU from a side perspective tonight. or he's going to be the reason why they don't win the game. I think that this is a winnable game. You're going up against a front court in Florida that you can muscle around, that you can be very physical with. And I just think that this is a game that Darius Days has to step up and put up an outlier type game. With him running this offense and not having Xavier Pinson in the lineup definitely hurts. I just don't trust Tyree Appleby and his turnover issues to not show themselves tonight at key times. So I would lean towards LSU, but I like the first half over and an offensive game to at least start.
Excellent. How about this one, Max? Bradley, Evansville. Bradley's favored by 8. Total just 128.5. Did you have a look in this one?
Yeah, listen, I think that with Bradley and Terry Roberts and Malevi Leons, these guys can really freaking use their length, use their freaking savviness to get inside to tight spots and score. We see Terry Roberts get into the paint and hit that mid-range Jimmy all the time now in games. I think Bradley has to come out with some offensive freaking fierceness. They cannot fall into Evansville's type of scoring tempo game. If Evansville and Bradley don't score 65 points or more in this first half, Bradley probably is not winning and Bradley probably isn't covering.
Excellent, Max. Let's touch this one. I lost for a second, but Charleston Southern versus Campbell, I think somebody wrote on here.
Yep, Charleston Southern versus Campbell.
16. Yeah, they're getting 16. Do you have anything in that game?
Yeah, absolutely. I took the big favorite with Campbell. I think that with Charleston Southern, even though Talik Chavez may not be in the lineup, he maybe have to double check that. I just think that I don't trust a guy like Claudel freaking Harms or Sean Price to be that outlier performer. There's other guys on the bench for Charleston Southern that played a bigger role last year that aren't this year. But what is the model of freaking Campbell basketball right now? Consistency, chemistry, continuity. And when you tell me that Cedric Henderson, Jesus Calero, and Jordan Whitfield have an opportunity to feast like I think that they can lock down with defense, score close to the rim, defend home court, and put up a big route win. I'm not backing Charleston Southern at that number.
Yeah, no way. Dragon Tran wants to know, can SMU cover the 14.5 tonight, Max?
Listen, I think that when we look at South Florida, their performance has indicated that they can be beat by this type of number. The key for South Florida is, from an offensive perspective, hitting threes. If they get their offense and their three-point shot going with Javon Green and Caleb Murphy, then they do have a shot, but you're getting a really mad SMU team. And like my guy, Platinum Paul freaking rolls, Texas situational spots, you get a mad Texas team. It probably doesn't turn out good for those people from Orange freaking County, Florida. I think that when you look at this group, I think that it's Route City. So definitely looking towards definitely the favorite in the spot.
SMU, yeah. What about NC State Louisville? Obviously, Louisville's favored by 6.5. This total's moved though from 145 all the way to 149.5. You have a look on either side or total here?
Yeah, nothing on the side or total, but I'd lean towards NC State with the points.
Okay, excellent. How about Elon, UNC Wilmington? Anything in that game?
Yeah, listen, I think that UNC Wilmington is a spot for me. I think that with UNC Wilmington, it's all about, can they get some play at the 5 spot? Can they go away from these 5-guard lineups? And when you have Jalen Sims and Micah Coro, that's a very good foundation. These guys can rebound, they can move the ball, they can handle it, and they can score in isolation. What the difference for Wilmington is going to be tonight is if Trezarian White shows up. Trezarian White has definitely given you the impression that he could be a solid 5-man, even though a little undersized. And with Elon, at home with Zach Irvin and Hunter McIntosh, I like them a lot better than on the road, and especially at pretty much a pick'em type number.
Real quick, Max, I know we just touched this game, but Jay here wants to know, Bradley Evansville first half over 61.
Yeah.
Okay.
Has to.
Shout out to T-Mac. Max went over the Vermont game. Just go back when we're done here. Take a listen to that. Minnesota, Michigan State. Michigan State favored big there by 11.5. Anything in that game, Max?
Yeah, I think that we're going to see some points from Michigan State. I think that with Michigan State being healthy and having Bingham and Max Christie back in the lineup, it's all about one of their wild cards. And the biggest wild card on that roster is Malik Hall. If Malik Hall can step up and hit some threes for Michigan State, I do think that they get decent enough point guard play to help this game get over. And with Minnesota, I don't think I've learned my lesson on their team total because I'm really leaning towards hitting that 62.5 with their team total. I think that they stay in this game. I think that they definitely have to score inside and not have Luke Lowy turning over the ball and taking terrible threes and getting blocked before it even gets out of his hand. If they can avoid stuff like that and get more shots for EJ Stevens, Minnesota probably has a chance to stay in it. But with the number going from 13 to 11, it's just not my favorite side or double-digit dog to bet on right now.
All right, let's grab a few more here, Max, before you get out of here. What do you think? I know I want to do it, but Western Carolina hasn't played well lately. Chattanooga's laying 13 against them, total 149.5. Any look in that one?
Yes, Ron. I thought that I could get away with it, but you caught me. Hillsborough County. When it comes to Chattanooga and Western Carolina, Conor, I'm trying to get away from this belief in Western Carolina, and chances are if I back Chattanooga tonight, they're gonna fuck me. I think that at the end of the day, Chattanooga is a more talented team. Chattanooga has an opportunity to rout a team that can get a little inconsistent from all three levels. And if Chattanooga wants to assert dominance, and really freaking take the air out of Western Carolina's air balloon, they really got to put the pedal to the metal, score early in the first half, and get this game into the 70s.
Okay. Do you have anything on the Dixie Cal Baptist game at all?
Yeah, listen, I think that Dixie State has become very untrustable. Don't get me wrong. I love Hunter Schofield and Cam Gooden and Frank Stain. But when you're going up against Cal Baptist, and now Cal Baptist having Daniel Akin being able to score down low the way that he has so far this year, it's a tough spot for me to bet a side in. Right now, I only have a play on the total, but I would lean towards Cal Baptist as a favorite. And Nick, it's always ketchup. I would never have any honey mustard. Never in my life. Never, Nick. Never. Come drink some beers tomorrow.
Fridays. Hopefully. Real quick, Max, before we get Utah Valley, Seattle. Utah Valley plus 1.5, Seattle. What do you think? Total?
Yeah, this is one of the nicest matchups on the board. I think I'm going to be going with Seattle. Seattle's going to have the luxury of not having to go up against Justin Harmon and Trey Woodbury in the backcourt for Utah Valley. They're going to need a big game from Fairdal Amick, Vancouver, British Columbia's finest freaking export. And I think that if you don't get a 20-17 type game from him, I think that Seattle has the scoring with Trammell and Cam Tyson and Riley Grigsby down low to freaking really make this a good game. I'll be watching this for the whole game. I'm not going to sleep early tonight.
Yeah, I'll be watching that one as well at the end of the night here on the West Coast. A couple more I'm going to touch on real quick, Max. I know you're not big Pac-12 basketball. Cal, Washington. Washington's favored by 1.5 here. Total 133. Do you have a look there?
Well, I was actually just telling my Patreon guys earlier about how I'm starting to fall for Washington and their team total overs. I think that they can get over 65.5 points tonight. I think that this game has the ability to go over, but it could be a tale of two halves. We have seen Cal play games in the 50s in the first half and then get higher scoring late game. So it's going to be definitely a gamble. I'm on the over and I'm on Washington team total over.
All right, last, you mentioned it, Max. I mean, we kind of touched on it. St. John's, UConn. Obviously, you want UConn to win, but 11 points, you take St. John's here, too many? And what about the total?
I took St. John's. Yeah, I took St. John's. I'm not going to back UConn. I will play it live. And that's the beautiful thing about my betting style is that I always have room to fix a mistake and make a profit. So,
okay, we're about to get out of here. I'm going to give you one last one. TCU, K-State. K-State's 3.5, 4, total 137. It's moved up 4 points is the total here. What do you think?
Listen, I think that TCU is the play. TCU may even be a goddamn best bet. That's how good I feel about it. I think that TCU can win this game outright.
Wanted to ask you about that game because I was looking into it a lot. All right, shout out to the chat. We appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up and go on Twitter. Like I say, retweet, tell them we're live. Get this shit like Max said. We need to be over 200 on the daily. College basketball is back. What else are you doing right now? Come on. Be right here. Pub Sports Radio, baby. All day long. All right, Max.
Oh, hold on. Shout out to freaking the master of taint, the master of lady taint, Nevada. And that's a low bagger rule. When you see a name of a team type 3 times, you must shout that out, recognize that shit. And we know that the taint is on Nevada.
Beautiful. Nevada. Boise versus Nevada tonight. Totals 146.5. Good game. There's still other ones. We got just a few more. We got to get rolling, Max. Give a shout out to the chat and give me your best bets here today.
Yeah, listen, chat, you guys are good people. We got screwed with UMass. If you guys live in the area, you can always deliver a little shit in the box as long as you make sure that no cameras catch you doing it, or you have the proper COVID protection to drop that kind of package off. And if they tell you, if you get caught, just blame it on the short, angry Canadian. I think that when it comes to best bets tonight for me, Connor, I'm going to ride with Stony Brook as an 11-point dog against Vermont. I need to see them beat and cover this number, or, it just is what it is. So I'm not laying these types of points with a team that doesn't shoot the 3 ball as well as they have in the past. I think that when we look at Colorado State, a game that we didn't talk about, going into a huge situational spot against Utah State, how do you not look at Colorado State after a 30-point freaking loss to STSU?
Beat down.
So
that was a murder.
Yeah, it's Colorado State for me when it comes to that game, and that's going to be my other best bet. And then listen, I like how Rhode Island has played. I like how Rhode Island can really lock down a easy trappable defensive team, and with the Mitchell brothers being healthy, playing together, developing game in and game out, I think that Rhode Island -5 or -5.5 first half is a good look and gives you an opportunity to edge out of it if St. Joe's is bringing their A game. That's always a big question mark. You really don't know on a game-to-game basis what kind of effort they're going to bring. But I think that this could be a big route win for Rhode Island, and I think it starts in the first half.
Excellent. Rhode Island first half. What was the number yet, Max?
5.
Okay.
But I think 5.5 is available now.
Okay. It's all right. 5.5 is good. Real quick. Yeah, that Colorado State, that'd be my name. I don't love that it's 6, but I think they bounce back better at home. Utah State, not a bad basketball team, but and there should be points, but this thing has moved. It's up to 150.
It's actually funny because Colorado State has been a real big under team as of late, and it's been their offensive struggles and their improved defense.
That's true. These things, they were a team that just was very early on, way over. And they've played to some unders. And then it's different, Max. Some of these teams are coming back off that long break, a little different basketball team. Take 3 weeks off and get into conference play. I'm just saying you become a little bit of a different team. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just think that we're seeing a lot of teams come off the break, unlike last year, with more efficiency early on in games.
Definitely. All right, let me hit mine real quick. All right, I'm on Wake Forest. I'm taking the 6 here. They're at home. They're a dog of this number. No Coach K. Duke comes into town. Duke might win this game. I just think it's too many. Give me the 6 with Wake Forest. They played their best basketball at home. I kept this as a lean, Max. I lean Tulane. I still lean the under, 138. I don't know if I get to the window. I can't make it best bet. But these two I am on. I'm on Maryland. I'm on the 5.5 there, and I think this gets over the total of 140. I'm gonna have another play on the over as well. 140 there. And last, I need big nights, big shooting night here from East Carolina. I'm taking the plus 10.5 for Cincinnati. Need some threes, need some free throws. Hang in this ball game. Taking East Carolina plus 10.5. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat. Like Max mentioned, like I always say, best chat in the goddamn game, no doubt. And I got to give a shout out. Jimmy is going to be live in just a couple hours. NFL Pub Hub. Man, I wish I could be on him. NFL, this wild card, this card was a little difficult for me to right away give out best bets for me today. I think the Raiders, if you got 6 or 5.5, could be tight in that game. That's the kind of the only one that I already had official. But he'll be on in a few hours, and he will be back tomorrow with Betting the Bag. I just wanted to shout that out to Jimmy. He'll be live in just under 2 hours, and he'll be back going on tomorrow. For sure. You want to say something, Max? Yeah.
I want to add something also. Just because everyone showed up today, we didn't get to the 200, but I do think that as a thank you to you guys for supporting the show day in and day out, why the hell am I going to hold out on you? I'm rolling with Conor. It's a correlated play with him. Wake Forest team total over 72.5. Cupcake play of the day material. Let's fuck with our eyes open. I love you guys. Not like that. Like family. And let's get some goddamn money.
Let's get it, baby. Let's have a day. He's a great Maxwell Smart. I'm Conor Mack. We're out of here, baby. We be bumping!